Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant, and today I'm sharing a card with the new Whimsical Winter Stamps and Dies, and I just love this new stamp set. The images are absolutely adorable, and they pair so well with the other stamps and dies from the October release. I like to lay out my products before I get started, so I kind of know if everything is going to fit and work together. I have my images from the Whimsical Winter stamp set, a greeting from Peaceful Wishes, and then two borders from the On the Hills stamp set, all new products. I'm going to start with this background of smooth white cardstock that I'm going to apply Salty Ocean Distress Oxide ink to. I don't have to go all the way to the bottom of the panel since it's going to be covered up with the snowy borders anyway, and I want to get a nice even application that is darker near the horizon line and slightly gets lighter the further up it goes. So I am simply going to keep working those inks until I get a nice seamless blend. Then I'm going to spritz this whole background with water from a distress sprayer. I'm working on an easy clean mat, so it's super easy to just wipe up my ink when I'm done. This is also not a specialty cardstock. This is Neenah Smooth White Cardstock, heavyweight, 110-pound weight. And the Distress Oxide ink is really forgiving on this cardstock. Normally, I would suggest using a Bristol smooth cardstock or a watercolor cardstock with distress inks because otherwise I tend to get foam tool marks and things. But with the Distress Oxides, they are so forgiving that they generally will work on this kind of paper as well, which I really love. Once I have this spritzed, I'm going to go ahead and set this aside to completely dry before I stamp the greeting on it. So I can work on going ahead and stamping the images from Whimsical Winter. And then I can come back to my background in a little bit. I am using a lot of the images from Whimsical Winter. I really like that this stamp set is full of images. There are no greetings in this stamp set, and which really is okay. There are so many greeting stamp sets out there for the holidays that it really is amazing that this stamp set is completely full of images. I'm using a bunch. I'm actually using 7, I believe, images from the stamp set. The tree, the reindeer, the bunny, the gifts, a squirrel, and 2 birds. And there are still more images in this stamp set. There's an owl, there's a fox, there is little stars, an acorn, some more greenery. So lots and lots of images. I stamped these with some jet black ink. This is an ink perfect for Copic coloring. And then I'm going to color all my images in with Copic markers. I will speed through the Copic coloring process just a little bit to speed up the video. You could choose to use any coloring medium that you prefer. I grabbed just a few Copic color combinations and set about coloring in my images. We're going to start with the tree. I'm using E55, 57, and 59 for the tree trunk. But to make the rest of the tree stand out, because the pine needle area is stamped in black, if you leave it just plain black, I felt like it was kind of boring. So I went ahead and took a Copic marker and I'm just basically tracing over the greenery part of this and really making my tree stand out. I love how full and pretty and colorful this adds. Such great texture to the tree. Only one single green color, YG97, and look at what a difference that makes. Next, we're going to color in the reindeer. I just love these characters. I think they are so super cute. I am using one of my very favorite neutral color combinations, E40, 43, 44, and 47. These are the colors for the deer. The scarf is going to be in some shades of red. And then I'm going to add even more detail to the scarf later on with a white opaque pen, and I'll add some stripes. But I want to color in the reindeer first. I love the kind of stick figure, I guess, quote unquote, look of these critters. They aren't really stick figures, but they just have a different look to them that I really enjoy. These brown colors are a little bit different than the tree trunk too. I find when using lots of neutrals that mixing up my neutrals makes for a little bit more interesting card. Now I did use a red marker for the tip of the reindeer's nose, but I am going to go back over that at the end of the video with some Red Berry Nuvo crystal drops to really make the nose stand out. Here are those red colors for the scarf. I have listed what I'm coloring and the colors used to color that along the bottom of the screen for easy reference. Now with the packages, that not only this image of 3 packages, but the squirrel, the bunny, and one of the birds are all holding a package. And I went ahead and colored all of the packages in similar color combinations, reds and greens. And I'll show you all those color combinations here in just a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and skip to the bunny. Warm grays for the bunny, very, very light warm grays with warm gray 0, 0, 2, and 5 with R00 for the cheeks. This sweet little bunny is so cute, holding a little package here. I even think adding some little long eyelashes to the bunny would be really fun to make it look more like maybe a little girl bunny. Now I colored my original 2 birds in blue. You can see there. I went ahead and cut that out of the video because I changed my mind. After I colored them, it just wasn't working for me. So I'm going to re-stamp them and color them in some neutrals instead. This is the squirrel in E08, 9, and E47 to darken up a few areas here and there in the design. And these are the colors for the packages. Our 27, 59, and 89 are red colors. YG 93, 95, and 97 are my green tones. And I like kind of keeping everything more in the neutral color palette for this card, with the exception of the pops of red and then a little bit of green for the tree and the gift packages. But otherwise, everything is very neutral, which is what I was going for with this card. Now, these 2 birds are going to have some yellow-red colors in yellow, red, 0, 0, 0, 0, 31, 23, 24, and 27, or some combination thereof. And automatically, I liked this color combination so much more than the blue for this particular card. I went to my most used color combination for birds to start with, and pretty early on, and I'm glad I figured it out before I had die cutted or adhered them to the card, they didn't look like they went with the rest of the animals. For whatever reason, they just weren't working for me. I did keep those, and I just tucked them into my stamp pocket, storage pocket. That way, if I'm creating a card at another time that these images will work for, I can go ahead and use them then. Now, once I do have everything colored, I'm going to use the coordinating Whimsical winter dies to die cut all of these cute little images. And then I can start putting it all together. I've got my background, I've got the greeting that I need to stamp, and I've got all of these great images. This is a great time to double check and make sure everything is going to fit. This is where I go ahead and lay out my greeting if I haven't already stamped it. Lay out any borders, layers, mats, anything like that, and just double check and make sure before I actually start adhering anything to the card that it's all going to work. So I've got just a couple more little images here. I like how that looks along the bottom edge. Everything seems to be exactly like it looked when I laid out the dies and stamps before getting started with my project. So I'm very, very happy about that. I'm going to take my background and use my Misty to stamp that greeting in the upper left corner using a black VersaFine ink. Because I've already done all my inking and things to the background, it is completely dry. I'm not going to be coloring over this. I'm using the black VersaFine ink. It is nice and crisp and black, and I really want it to stand out. I love these sentiments from Peaceful Wishes. They are really beautiful. I love the sentiment. I love what they say. I just really can't say enough great things about this greeting stamp set. Going ahead and starting with my background border first, the wider border. I'll adhere that along the bottom edge of the background. Then I will add the border in the forefront and start building my scene by adding the tree, the critters, the gift presents. The tree is pretty big size, so I was able to adhere it with a tape runner. Anything small I'm attaching with some glue dots. Easy to just grab those, and they're nice and sticky. I generally don't have to worry about any of these things moving around when I'm using some glue dots or the tape runner for that matter. And the little scene is just coming to life. Isn't it so stinking cute? Where I added the distress sprayer in the background, it almost looks like falling snow without any additional work needed. The Distress Oxide ink did all the work. It reacted with the water droplets. So it just really kind of gives a beautiful, cohesive scene. Now I'm going to take this panel, attach it to a white top fold card base. And that will finish up this whimsical winter card. And then I can add any finishing details like a white opaque pen to this gift package, some glitter accents to some of the packages with a Stardust glitter pen, stripes to the scarf around the reindeer's neck. So it looks like he has a red and white striped scarf. My white opaque pen is one of my most used tools in my craft room. I use it all the time. I absolutely love it. I also use the black gel pen a lot. These are two of my most used tools. And then the red berry Nuvo crystal drops will be used to add that dimensional detail to the reindeer's nose. I always like to squirt it off on my work surface first to make sure any air bubbles don't splatter on my project. Thanks for joining me today for this Christmas card featuring the Mama Elephant Whimsical Winter Stamps and Dies. The supplies I used to create this card are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant stamps and dies that you might be interested in. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.